start. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
So the meeting will now come to order. Will staff please call the roll?
Well, what happened to Kim?
Here she comes.
Mr. Chair, you may have to repeat yourself for this.
That is okay. So, second time. The meeting will now come to order. Will staff please call the roll?
Chairperson Flores,
Present?
Vice Chair Ramos,
Present.
I don't see Board Member Hall. Councilmember Grimes,
Present.
Councilmember Madera.
Present.
Thank you. And the staff, the city staff present, we have Anita Riley, Principal Planner, Nathan Chavez, Planner, Nancy Flock, Small Business Program Administrator, Trisha Mason, Community Development Manager, and myself, Kim Adame, Admin Specialist.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. Okay, so will there be a motion for approval of last meeting's minutes? Ian, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will you please take a vote, Kim?
Of course, Councilmember Madera,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ramos,
Yes.
Chairperson Flores.
Yes.
Thank you.
So will the planner please introduce the first case this evening?
Good evening, everyone. For those watching, my name is Nathan Chavez. Tonight, you'll be hearing case DRB-086-22, Comfort Dental, located at 7201 Monaco Street, Commerce City, Colorado, 80022. The property is zoned PUD for planned unit development, and the applicant tonight is requesting approval for 3 new signs and approval of $6,644.65 in commercial catalyst funds in association with the 3 new signs. I'm sorry, 1 second, please. Okay, so as I just stated, that the applicant is seeking approval for 3 new signs, and right here is a snip, a screenshot of a rendering for 2 of the proposed signs, and then the catalyst funds is just north of $6,600. So the subject property, home of Comfort Dental, has been there since 2002-2003. It's located at the northwest corner of Monaco Street and East 72nd Avenue. In 2003, this board also heard a application for a facade addition, including the existing parapet and signage, which I'll show some existing photos of the site. And actually, this particular building was the 3rd ever case for the Derby Review Board. So there's a little history here with the review board. Initially, this site was also originally occupied by attorneys Berger and Geller, and for those who don't know, Robert Geller was the attorney who helped write the city charter, draft the public-private partnership for Victory Crossing and the Civic Center, and the council chambers are also named after him. And there's actually a photo as you walk into the council chambers. And in addition, within the Derby Master Plan, this corner, the East 72nd and Monaco Street corner, is designated as a focal point, meaning this is an important part of the neighborhood and provides a sense of orientation, and it also acts as a sort of gateway, since Monaco Street and East 72nd avenues are such major thoroughfares within and surrounding the Derby sub-area. So this is a photo of the existing site. Currently on the south elevation, there are 2 signs. And then on this decorative corner piece on the building, there's a sign on the other side. And this map kind of shows their general location. And proposed are a channel leather sign to replace one of the cabinet signs, and then on the decorative parapet corner piece are 2 contour cabinet signs with vacuum formed faces. So this building was built in 1958. The building follows a modern movement style of architecture. It was built with 2 colors of brick and flat roofs, and that's very much a staple of the 50s architecture, especially within the Derby sub area. Those notable features of the building is this decorative corner piece and the parapet, and this was approved and added by the Derby Review Board in 2003. And this feature harkens back to the Googie style of the 1950s, and it's very much the Googie style of architecture is one of the main pieces of the Derby design guidelines. And when new projects do come in, we do like to see Googie features and modern movement incorporated in buildings. And in this instance, we're focused on the signage and not necessarily the architecture, but just wanted to give a little background there. In addition, this building is also designated as contributing in the historic resources packet. And contributing buildings are resources within a historic district that are classified at they were present during the period of significance and possess historic integrity for that period. So in this instance, the building was constructed during Derby's growth following World War II, and many of the buildings in the Derby sub-area were constructed around this time. And this contributing designation will help lead to establishment of historic preservation district when that does happen eventually. So stated earlier in this presentation, the intersection is designated as a focal point for the sub area, and also acts as a small gateway between Monaco, because Monaco is such a vital thoroughfare into Derby. Specifically, that helps us meet goal 3 to enhance Derby's visibility and identity through strengthening the community and infrastructure elements. When people are driving, on East 72nd Avenue past Derby, this corner piece, or this corner building is such an important part of Derby. And with new signage, brighter signage, better material, it will really kind of bring more of a pop and flavor to the sub area. And then with goal 4, through this application and approval of Catalyst funds, we are supporting and promoting an existing business that's been there since the early 2000s. And we're just helping out the property owner and the business owner, who are the same individual. So staff reviewed the application in reference to the Derby PUD zoning, the sub-area plan, design guidelines, and the LDC. And staff has found that this is a conforming use. It is permitted with regards to zoning, and the proposed signage meets the sign regulations in the LDC and meets the intent of the Derby design guidelines, with the similarity to the color palette, the use of italic letterings, and the signs do more than just say the name. They kind of add a sense of hopefulness, and that's a direct section from the Derby design guidelines. This creating the sense of hopefulness, and having a brighter sign will be better during the evening and at night. So I'll now turn it over to Nancy Flock with Economic Development to kind of talk a little more about the Catalyst funding. Nancy?
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Nathan. So as we all know, the Catalyst Funds is a grant program that's designed to encourage building and business owners to keep up on the maintenance of their properties in the Derby area. This request will do that by fixing the deteriorated signage that was pointed out in the presentation, and staff also assists with projects that revitalize the historic downtown Derby district. That is also the heart of Commerce City, making it an attractive place for local residents to enjoy and also attract visitors from the Metro Denver area. This will both be an improvement to the site and also the downtown Derby district, as it represents upgrading and reinvestment in the district. And if you could switch to the next slide, please. Thank you. Staff recommends approval for the proposed signage as presented and approval for the Catalyst funds in the amount of $6,644.65, subject to the following advisory. In accordance with Derby Review Board Policy 2014-1, Catalyst funds for facade renovations such as this will expire if the project is not commenced within 3 months and completed within 6 months. Next slide, please. So that's a conclusion of the presentation. If there are any questions, staff is present to answer those for those that anyone might have.
In addition, the applicant should also be viewing as a spectator on the Zoom call, and we can let them in if you all have questions for them.
Are there any questions from the board?
I guess I just had a small question. Notice you said that the colors divert or similar in nature to the approved color palette. I guess I was just wondering, one sign, the white background, is that part of the Derby Review Board approved color palette or close?
Is it this color here or
Yeah,
the
just
white?
the
Okay.
just the entire white background.
Yeah. One second, please. I'm just pulling up that palette currently.
Okay.
So here's the current palette. There are some I guess dark grays and lighter grays that I feel would be more of accents, and specifically I was mostly focused on this purple and bluish color. I'm not great with specific color names, but looking at this particular blue and this particular blue here, and then with the purple. Originally in 2003, when this parapet was approved, these I guess dark purples were a lot more vibrant and brighter, and over time they have weathered, and I believe they're supposed to emulate, or the proposed CEF, this purple is supposed to emulate these accents on the parapet, but Vice Chair Ramos, there are some whites and some grays that match up with the negative space in between.
Okay, and currently is it going to be white or is it going to be gray?
It will be a more of a gray, and then they'll have white that surrounds actual lettering to make it pop a little bit more.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's only clarification I just wanted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilmember Madera.
Yeah, I guess just going back to that. So in the packet for the sign company, they have some trimless letters on the signs. Why aren't they doing something like that? Like they have some pictures of signs that they use in other locations. I guess I can, it's page 24, I think, of the packet.
Oh, 24, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess the packet that I received is different.
Yeah, I always just take out specific slides and don't have the packet sometimes pulled up, and that is my fault. My apologies.
Yeah, it's like right after the, I guess the second page after the estimate. There you go, that one.
Councilmember Madera, your specific question, what was for examples of the trimless?
Yeah, so like the sign on the right there without the negative space filled in. Is that similar to the sign they're going to use, or are they doing something different?
This sign will look more, this sign type here is geared more towards this sign here with the orange star, the channel leather signs, and then up on the decorative corner piece, it will look more like this, where the letters are a little raised out, but I believe that all of this will illuminate it, and that's more of a cabinet sign, and the I guess how it's made is they take the whole image, put it on a press, and then the letters are raised out a few extra inches.
Okay, I just I don't know which one conforms better to the type or the aesthetic that we're going for. It's kind of hard to tell with the image that's drawn on there versus like the actual sign, because to me, I think this sign looks better, where you can see the brick in between the comfort and the dental.
Okay.
Okay, second that.
And with that being said, a part of your motion tonight can be to table this and have the applicant look at using channel letters for the other two signs as opposed to what's currently proposed. So if that's something you all would like to explore, that's something that we certainly can do and ask the applicant to do as well. Kim, is it possible to let the applicant in? Robert, I believe.
Hey, I just had a quick question. I need to jump off at 6. Do you guys have a quorum without me?
We do. We have 4 other members, so that constitutes a quorum. Yes, Council.
So you're good. Okay, good. I'll be on until 6, but I got to jump off then.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Robert, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, Robert.
Hi there. The reason that top sign is vacuum formed letters, it is too small to make channel letters and do the sign that's on the explanation of the one that's up on the corner. Those are only 3 foot by 6 foot signs. And we can't do channel letters that small.
Robert, correct me if I'm wrong. It is typically because it's harder to get the LED lights into the smaller letters, correct? At least that's
Oh,
my
yeah,
experience in the past.
And just shaping letters, seeing as how these letters all have serifs and everything like that, we have a requirement of the serifs being 1.5 inches thick to get the LEDs in there. And those serifs are like 1/2 inch. It's our smaller version when we don't have room to do a full set of letters. This is what we're doing.
Thank you. That answers my question.
And the other one now, it will be channel letters, but it's linear like the picture on the left of that page 24 or whatever you want to call it, the Trimmest channel letter specifications. Because there's no room to put a stacked version over there on the that parapet.
Does anyone have any other questions or concerns about what's proposed, or any other thoughts or ideas?
None for me.
No, none from me.
Guess I have just a small question for Nathan. Saw that one of the colors on the color palette was pretty close to that sort of brownish beige. Is that thing, was it?
I think this one.
Is that pretty close? I would think it's like second one from the yellow at the north. Is it a right upper corner? That down one, right?
Right here.
No, the other one. The other one.
Oh, this one.
Nope. Sorry, down, down the other way. Right there. I don't know. For me, something between that and then that larger one, right? Or is that not close enough? Or maybe it's the computer throwing it off. I can't 100% make a quote. But have you looked into that, or has planning looked into that?
So in my previous job, I used to be the sign administrator, focused entirely on signs for 4 years. And during my tenure there, I learned a lot about First Amendment right issues and trademarked brands and companies. And in this instance, I did look, and Comfort Dental is a federally trademarked brand, and asking the applicant to change the color of their brand would require the Derby design guidelines to be a little more robust and specific. And right now, the Derby color palette is more of a recommendation, and move towards this palette than it's stating that this is a requirement, if that makes sense. And yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Oh, okay. No, I just want to know if it was explored. But yeah, no, if we're only bounded to the gray and white, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. And there's this really interesting, I guess, never mind. It's just a cool McDonald's fact. There's only one blue McDonald's logo in the entire country, and that's because of a specific city design guidelines, and it's in, I think, Nevada. But I can send you that email with the link if you'd like. So sorry about that. It's just interesting to me.
But we're not requiring neon signs here or something.
Yeah. And if I may speak, we've got those colors on over 100 stores in several states. So, I mean, that is our corporate colors, and it's basically a purple and a teal. And the gray, I mean, that's up in the air. If you want a little bit darker gray, that can be accommodated. But as far as the purple and teal, those are corporate colors.
Oh, definitely. I think the light gray is good. Yeah, that works. Thank you for answering those questions.
Okay, thank you.
Does the board have any other questions for the applicant? No. All right, I'd like to thank Mr. Collier for speaking. And yeah, thank you for staff for the presentation. Seeing no one from the public who registered to speak nor any written comments, we will now close the public hearing. So is there a motion to close the public hearing? Is there a, I get a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the proposed signage.
Is there a second?
Esther, I think you were trying to second it, but you're muted.
Now am I muted?
We can hear you now.
Thank you. So I seconded that motion.
Yes, so now we have to approve a motion for catalyst funds.
I'm sorry, did you all vote? I know there was a first and a
Oh.
second, but was there an actual vote?
No,
Oh,
no.
Okay.
let's do a vote. Let's do a vote.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll call roll call. Councilmember Madera,
Yes.
Board Member Hall,
I approve.
Vice Chairperson Ramos,
Yes, as well.
and Chairperson Flores.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the catalyst funds for the proposed signage?
I'll make the motion to approve the catalyst funds in the stated, or not to exceed the stated amount.
And I will second the motion. Can we get a vote?
Councilmember Madera,
Yes.
Board Member Hall,
Yes,
Vice Chairperson Ramos,
Yes.
Chairperson Flores.
Yes.
Thank you.
Does any member of the board have any business they would like to address at this time?
I don't. You know, the Historical Society is working towards something like the old-fashioned Derby days, trying to put that together later this year. Not that it goes with this particular meeting, but just as a heads up that we're working on that. I think it'll be good.
Esther, what was the organization again? The Historical Society?
Commerce City Historical Society, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Is that something that we can participate in this board? You know, they're financially or set up a booth or something?
Who is we?
The Derby Review Board.
Well, I think it'd be a good idea if you wanted to do something like that. let people know that there's people looking at the heart of the old city. I think that's a very good idea.
Well, and I think it'd be a good way to get our name out to, let people know that we're here and, the programs that we offer the Derby area.
And I will speak with Anita after this meeting and talk to Steve and see what all we can do to provide a booth. I think the community development department has tents and tables we can provide and we can make some sort of handouts or do something to make it a little more fun, a little more interactive if
Right.
Yeah. So that's something that we'll definitely look into, and I'll add it to my to-do list.
And Councilmember
Nate.
Madera, would this, do you believe by chance, qualify for some of those funds that were approved in the reappropriation ordinance last night for funding for boards and committees?
Yeah, I think it would, either just getting some, stuff to give away or even being a sponsor of the event, because I know, starting it back up, that's always the hardest part, is to get the funding and organize everything. So, if we could help and, at the same time help the review board get our name out, I think it would be a win-win for everybody.
Right.
Anita, we actually have a budget in our department for our boards and commissions, because our boards and commissions are like most of the other boards and commissions. I think specifically ours was excluded from the very generous motions that you made for all of them across the board. But unfortunately, I don't think that this one would be eligible for that. So I think within our community development budget that we can help support the efforts that Councilmember Madera had mentioned.
Thank you, Tricia. Are there any other notices for board business from the board?
No, I don't.
So staff has brought some things to the board for consideration tonight.
Okay, everyone. So back in February, staff had a study session regarding rules and procedures, and if the board had any thoughts on or staff wanted to gauge how the board felt the board was doing, or if they wanted to go in a different direction. And with the help of Brian Swan and Anita, we were able to put together a draft rules and procedure. Legal has not been able to review this version of the draft, but after we receive some more input tonight from the board, our legal department knows to review and at a future review board meeting, Derby Review Board meeting, we plan on bringing this to you to hopefully adopt it and codify it as the official rules of procedure for the Derby Review Board. So as part of this study session, I will just review very high level section by section, and then open it up for any questions or concerns or thoughts from you all. We very much want to understand if these rules make sense. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Is the language too technical? Is it not technical enough? We very much heard and understood that you all like how casual the board is and how it's not too rigid, and that's something that we want to keep is this casual, fun atmosphere, if you will, with the board. I mean, I certainly know I have fun every time I'm with you all. But anyway, let's start. So authority and applicability of rules. This is just very much run-of-the-mill language establishing what the board is, where they gain their powers from, much of the language and template for this board is directly from our planning commission rules of procedure. We just removed a few things and changed things around. So really there isn't anything noticeable about section A. But again, I want to hear from you all. If you want to read it and let me know, or if there's nothing to discuss, I can move on after a few moments of silence. So.
I just had one question on the makeup of the board. I know we have some vacancies and that's coming up later in the agenda, but have we had issues because of the requirements? So like, I think the design professionals, we have one of those spots full or filled, but we don't have the other. Is that an impediment or?
Councilor Madera, I can't really say. I don't know the history of the board members too well to speak on if it has or hasn't been a hindrance to the board. Like you mentioned, we'll be talking about the vacancies here shortly, and I fully expect as a part of that process during outreach and looking for a member to fill that spot, I can better gauge if the qualifications for the design professional is a hindrance or not. I do know that the qualifications or the composition of the board derives from the Muni Code, and staff would then need to propose an ordinance amendment to City Council to change the ordinance to remove or add, or I'm sorry, to remove that specific composition and make it like a regular member, for example.
And I don't know if removing it completely, but maybe making one a requirement and then one kind of strongly encouraged, but have a little bit more flexibility. Again, I don't know what our pipeline is looking like to fill these vacancies, but that was one thing that I noticed.
So something that I would note is that, first of all, Nathan and I are relatively new to Commerce City. And so we don't know what kind of efforts have been made in the past for recruitment. And in our conversations and discussions, we thought it might be a good idea to attempt a more proactive recruitment effort and see what transpires from that before we make any changes to what's already been put in place. But those were our thoughts. And of course, we're here to hear what your thoughts are.
Okay, and I think maybe that's something to gauge with this next round of applicants, and if we're having trouble filling that seat, just might be something to consider. Then my only other comment would be I'm definitely a fan of the less formal structure for this board. I don't want it to become city council per se.
Yeah.
So if we can keep some of that in here and maybe not make it so rigid, I think everyone would appreciate that.
Throw in a comment because under section 2, the owners of businesses come up with 2 businesses that thought catching and the shop. One of those these might be approached to see if they'd like to be on the board.
Esther, I'm so sorry. The connection was a little fuzzy there. Can you please repeat that?
Under section 2, the purpose of the subscription, owners of businesses is the sec B. And I'm thinking that approaching the owners of the donut shop or high-low check cashing, possibly some of the employees or owners of high-low check cashing, and or the couple that own the donut shop, one of them might be considered as somebody that would be interested in it.
Those are great points, Esther. So I spend some time in the Derby area on Tuesdays and Thursdays and have a pretty good network with the small business owners there and have done some outreach. What I've found so far is a lot of folks are overcommitted, but
I'm sure, yeah.
Definitely will continue those efforts to get some more folks on the board.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing that, being part of it.
Of course, I enjoy it.
So since we're on composition qualifications, I'll also include that each year the board shall appoint a secretary, and currently Kim has been acting as our secretary, and once these rules procedures are adopted, each year the board will need to appoint a secretary, and one option is always to appoint the whoever is in Kim's role, so Kim or whoever's in Kim's role. Does anyone have any other questions about composition and qualifications or appointments? Okay, I'll move on to C, the terms of office. This section very much includes language from the city code. And then with regards to the city council member, I believe this number derives from the previous terms of city council members. The 3 years for all other members, that's code. City council members, that's just based off I guess your past term appointment, Councilor Madera.
Yeah, we kind of shuffle our appointments every 2 years when we have new members, so that's probably where that comes out of.
Perfect. And then for those who don't know, I guess you all would know, when there's a new member, the city puts out applications, and then individuals within the community or who meet the qualifications then apply, and then that's seen by city council for official appointment. Moving on to chairperson and alternate members. This section really just fleshes out the roles and responsibilities for the various members, for the various member types, as well as who will preside in the absence of the chairperson. Most of this language is just cut from the Planning Commission and then just altered to meet the needs of the Derby Review Board, and including not being so technical and rigid. But yeah. Moving down to attendance. Originally, staff's proposal was if a member is absent for 3 consecutive meetings, as well as 25%, then that issue would be referred to city council. But we realized, well, if there's only 4 meetings and a member misses 1 meeting, they're then up for their absence is then sent to city council unless it's excused by the board. But this version is now, if a member misses 3 consecutive regular meetings in the fiscal year, unless excused by the board, they'll be referred to city council. We feel that is gives flexibility for the board if there is something going on in someone's life. But we very much want to keep you all here and don't want to see anyone leaving. So this is the sentence that we came up with. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions or concerns with this, with section F, attendance?
None for me.
Well, I can think of some members of our community that's longstanding in the community, and maybe they're not aware of this board that would be an asset to this, and I might bring it to their attention. So if you had 2 more board members, that would make it too many. I don't know, but I can think of 2 particular people that have been here a long time and very skilled at being in meetings. So I might ask them to consider being on the board. Is there an opening for that?
Currently, there are 2 openings. One is for, sorry, one second, please, Esther. So here's the current makeup of the board. There's currently 1 vacancy for a design professional, and then 1 vacancy for a regular member. And that as you just saw, includes business owners, property owners, people who reside in the Derby Review Board. So there very much is
Okay,
ample opportunity. Yeah.
I will mention that because this woman's been very involved in our community and mainly in her church, but she's very skilled. And I
Okay.
think she would be an asset, the person I'm thinking of. So I'll mention it to her.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Moving along to meetings, really the most substantial change or addition is how section G.1 is written allows for flexibility for the board to have in-person meetings, hybrid meetings. In addition, we can host meetings at the Civic Center Council chambers, the Community Development 2108 conference room, or if the board would like one day, the Derby Small Business Center, where Nancy spends her Tuesdays and Thursdays, right, Nancy?
That's correct.
Yeah. And so later on in this meeting, I will be speaking about in-person meetings, but right now we are trying to lay the groundwork for flexibility down the road to meet in person and host meetings in different locations. Moving on to motions and votings. Voting, this section really it's just language outlining notification of meetings, conduct, Robert's Rules of Order, and how study sessions and executive sessions should take place. It's very much the processes that we follow now, and we're just codifying it so that way in the future, if there are different planners or staff members, they'll have something to use as guidance, and very much just trying to lay groundwork for the future. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about the meeting, section G or section H? Very similar to the last section, section I, public meetings. Again, just lays the groundwork and codifies the current processes we follow with regards to testimony and evidence, the order that hearings, if you will take place. And again, this is also the stuff that we follow now. It just lays it's just codified. Quasi judicial matters. In this section, we are just laying the foundation for items that the board may hear and act upon, and this includes the commercial catalyst funds, what type of improvements can occur on a site in order to, or that A, require board approval, and then also B, then qualify for commercial catalyst funds. And then in the future, I imagine if there are proposals to the processes or what the board would like to hear and act upon, then we would have to come back and look at this language. But currently, this is just what's proposed in J.3 is what we currently or what the board currently hears and acts upon. And then lastly, ex parte contacts. This and Anita, please correct me if I'm wrong. This is in essence, if there is a matter being seen before the board, what type of communication board members can have with applicants and business owners before a matter takes place, and it lays out the groundwork for what board members can and can't communicate and I guess communicate with applicants and property owners and business owners. And again, this is just very standard ethical, a very ethical section that we all have to follow.
Absolutely.
So that's it for the proposed rules and procedures. You know, I have my notes, and we'll be taking this to our the city attorney Matt Hayter in his office, and hammer out any details that he has, you know, with regards to legal advice, and then at a later date we'll be presenting this to you all for adoption. Does anyone have any questions or concerns, or, you know, feel free to email me if you think of something in the middle of the night, and happy to take notes and go from there. Oh, sorry.
I just had a question. Is there any, on the motions and voting, is there any language or anything for case of you have tie breaks? I could see it happen in case, like, say you have a board member that's absent and you have an alternate member, and so you would have a total of 4, and say to tie. What happens then?
Ties are usually
Councilor Madera, if you're speaking right now, we cannot hear you.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that if there's a tie, the motion fails. So someone would need to make a new motion.
Makes sense.
Anita?
Well, I just wanted to mention that under section G, meetings, we did list the time frame for each Derby Review Board meeting. And I believe that was a question that we had as to whether this time works well for the board members, or if they wanted to consider a different time range. So I apologize for circling back around on that. Were there any thoughts about that from the board members?
It's Esther, and I think the time is perfect. It's not too late. I think the day of the week is great. So for me, it works.
Okay, thank you. And others, does it also work for you as well?
Same here, yeah. I have no issues with the timer or the date, so I'm good.
Oh, Vice Chair Ramos, if you were saying something, you're on mute.
Sorry, no, I was just seeing that I had my hand still. Sorry. But no, I have, guess for me, the only thing would be, could there be a seasonal sort of influx? Because I know if we are going to do in-person meeting, it gets darker in the winter and so forth. So, I mean, I guess I like to make a motion during the winter time to move up the meeting earlier to 5 o'clock. Or a recommendation, would that be it?
Go ahead, Anita, sorry.
I'd say this is the time for the board members to have that discussion.
Oh, how does everybody feel about that?
Yeah, I guess seasonal. I guess we could change I guess month wise, maybe like, what do you say, like November through March? Push it up to like 4:30. What do you say?
I don't think we have to change it on here though, because I think this is just generally the board's meeting. So like, if we want to change the meeting, we can make a motion, the month before, the next meeting that we want to change the time for. Because I don't think the way it's written right now, it's hard and fast. It's just saying that generally this is when we meet.
This is true.
Yeah, so I think, when we want to change it to that time, we should probably check in then and just see, if that works with everyone's schedules, and then, we can go from there.
In addition, I would like to start creating yearly calendars that are published the November before the new year. So in November, I would create a 2023 calendar, and I can include the 4:30 to 5 o'clock start, and we can talk about that. And Kim reaches out to you all weeks beforehand, and if there is a desire to move it up or back, that's something that we can definitely accommodate. And yeah.
And we could also like switch back and forth, like you said, hybrid, right? Like, like during the winter, like say like there's a blizzard or something that, Tuesday or something, like, just move it to like, I guess, move it virtually. That way, we don't have to be, present in the Civic Center. If we do change it to in person, like, I guess keeping that hybrid system, if we go into the chamber, that's definitely fine. But if not, it doesn't have to be a requirement per se. Like, I don't know if it's possible to have, maybe two people if they want to go into the chamber, and then like the other two people would just join on Zoom. I don't know if that's possible, but
it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. It isn't like a special requirement.
That's a good point.
But yeah. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about the time is I also have veterans commissions on Tuesdays. It was actually canceled today, but with Megan usually attends, so she can cover for me.
What time does your Veterans Commission meet?
They meet at 6.
Okay.
So I've kind of been splitting time between the two, and sometimes I leave early from this meeting, or sometimes I show up late to that one and try to balance it out.
Would an earlier start time benefit you as far as trying to make it to both boards and committees?
It does, but I know Megan is usually coming from work, so if we start at 5, she might miss the first half of this meeting, and then if we go back in person, it'll be the same type of thing for me, where I'll be running straight from work to to the Civic Center, and making it up 5 might be hard for me sometimes.
Thank you. That's good information.
Okay.
Okay, are there any last comments about the draft rules of procedures? I mean, do they strike the right balance? Do they strike the right tone? Is there the right amount of information in there, or too much or too little? And what kind of changes do you think we should be looking at?
I don't see a problem with it at all. It's something that we've worked with for several years because I've been on the board that long. If you want to adjust that, it could just be simplified without deleting things, if that's something somebody wants to look at.
Okay, so make it use more plain language rather than some of the legalese that we did our best to try and pull out, but
Correct.
okay. So we'll bring a revised draft for you for the next meeting. And I believe we won't be able to meet in August, so we will bring it to you in September.
Great.
Was it August or July?
Oh, July. I'm sorry. We won't be able to meet in July, so we'll bring it to you in August. Thanks
If
for
there's
keeping
something
me
that
straight,
comes up.
Tricia.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a few more items for you, and then I had a small announcement before we leave. Nathan, did you want to speak about in-person meetings?
Yes. During various study sessions and other meetings we've had, there has been have been comments made about moving back towards in-person meetings or hybrid models, and staff wanted to gauge the board's desire or willingness to move to in-person or hybrid models. That's something we're very capable of doing here, whether that's at the council chambers, a conference room, or in the actual Derby sub area. And just want to ask how you all feel, and if there is a consensus or agreement toward moving closer to in-person. That would require a vote. And Anita and I had a conversation today about the rise in COVID numbers, and we've had a few cases here in City Hall, and so we understand there may be this some more unwillingness and apprehension. And again, we're not advocating either way. We just want to understand what you all would like, and let you know the opportunity is there, and it's our job to act on your will and desires, if you will.
Well, I'll be first to make the comment that I really prefer the in-person meetings. That way, everybody speaks freely and you can discuss it. It seems easier to me. This is certainly easy, but it's not as convenient for me. I'm not as astute with this type of meetings. I'm used to in-person meetings.
I'm fine either way. I think in person's better, but sometimes this is more convenient. I think some of my other boards are the same way, where they're really trying to move back to in person. So I'll support whatever the group wants to do.
Oh, yes, here. Hybrid. If we want to do like one meeting like Zoom, maybe like in the summer, then maybe we can move to like in person, just the weather's nice or whatever. Then like, you know, like Aiden was saying, like in the dark, like, you know, when it gets darker and stuff, you know, maybe change that over to, you know, Zoom, you know, that way it's, you know, if it's cold or snowing or something, or if the weather's bad, we, you know, have that chance where we're not really forced to, you know, risk, you know, driving out there and you know, risking anything. So,
Okay.
Like to make the comment, I think we just stay with hybrid too, because if we're trying to fill some vacancies, that will offer more flexibility to a bigger pool of candidates.
Okay, it very much sounds like hybrid is the direction that, you know, you all or seem to be pointing towards. And at this point, if someone would like to make a motion, you know, one way or the other, then that's something that would need to occur to officially, you know, move toward hybrid or stay virtual or go to in person, whatever the motion is.
yes, I guess I'll start. Do I have a motion to keep meetings, I guess, as a hybrid? Later on, we'll decide if we want to be in person or I guess just keep meetings for now as a hybrid version of meetings. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make the motion to move towards hybrid.
I'll second.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Edwin. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I guess can we have a vote?
Esther Hall,
Approve.
Chair Flores,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ramos,
Aye.
and Councilmember Madera.
Yes.
If we'll be having a hybrid meeting, which provides an option for in-person next with our next meeting, is there a preference as to where you would prefer to meet?
Wherever, I guess. I guess I would want like the history of the Derby Review Board. So you said like we used to have it like in the sub. What is it?
Derby Small Business Resource Center, correct, Nancy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could have it there. Is that where previously all the meetings were held, Esther? Before? In person?
Esther, before COVID, were all the in-person meetings held at the Civic Center or in the Derby sub area?
At Civic Center.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. Let's just do the Civic Center.
I call it the large boardroom, but I don't know what else. Meeting room, whatever.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Civic Center.
And that's my preference.
Okay.
One of my reasons of considering dropping the board, because I prefer the in-person. I will continue to try to do this. I'm not always successful. And so I may not be present.
Okay.
Just because of my technology skills.
Well, Esther, it seems like we'll be moving to in-person soon, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person.
Great.
Likewise.
Okay, thank you. So with our next meeting, then we will set up a hybrid meeting in our conference room in community development, room 2108, if that suits the board.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's good with me.
great.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for the meeting. And
Okay.
Yep, I'll see you later. See you.
Oh, no.
I'll make a motion that
I think
Chairperson
we have one
sorry.
more.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, I was raising my hand. Chairperson Flores, I'm sorry. I did want to make an announcement. I have some sad news in that one of our planning commissioners, David Yost, passed away. And I need to kind of go back to my calendar and get an idea of when that was. A few weeks ago now. And so I just wanted to let all of you know he was a long serving member of the Planning Commission and was quite dedicated to the city. And so I just wanted to pass that information on to you.
Thank you.
If anybody was interested in attending his memorial service, it will be held on Saturday. Anita, do you have that address?
I don't have that address.
It will be June 25th at 2 p.m. at the First Mennonite Church in Denver. And if you need more information, you guys can just reach out to us. We'll provide it.
Thank you.
So I'm so sorry for having interrupted you,
no.
Chairperson Flores.
Yeah, definitely sad news. I wish I would have known Mr. Yost. But yeah, I guess with this, the meeting will come to a close. Do we need a vote or anything? No, just
No.
Yeah, you're the chairperson. You can
okay.
adjourn it.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all next meeting.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a good
Everyone.
night.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great 4th of July
Thank
weekend,
you.
everyone.
Yes.
Next week.
Bye.
Take care.